welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to do something a little bit different today. I'm not doing a what I eat in the day or anything. I'm going to just do talk about sins. So the lovely Rachel from Bales 1986 SW, if you don't follow her, go and check her channel out. She does some brilliant videos and it's really motivating. So yeah, definitely go and check her videos out. And she's done like a little she did a video recently about sins and how we use them, etc. And she gave people basically a list of questions, and it was up to us if you want to go and do it. A bit like a tag, but yeah, anyone can do it. So I thought I'd talk about sins with you, and I have her questions here. So yeah, let's get stuck in. So first of all, how do you spend your sins? Mainly on sweet treats, mainly chocolate treats. I do also use them through the day. So sometimes if I fancy like some crisps, I sometimes have a packet of French fries or lentil curls, probably about once or twice a week. I don't do this every day, and they're about 4.5 sins. But then I also allow a couple of sins later on for things like I might have a curly whirly, which is about 6 sins. I might have some options, the hot chocolate options. I tend to put that in like a sachet of that into a quark, which is like 2 sins, or 1 sin for half a sachet, and just mix it around so it's a bit more like a chocolatey moussey kind of thing, which I sometimes use in the cheesecake that I make, which I got the recipe basically inspired by KSW. So yeah, what else do I use my sins on? Varies really. Wine, alcohol, like gin and tonic. Don't like gin and slimline tonic. Varies. Like sometimes you might use a little bit of mayonnaise or tomato ketchup. I don't have sauces a lot, but like HP brown sauce I quite like with the corn sausages, the free corn sausages, or the Linda McCartney ones. So that's like, I think it's 1 sin for a tablespoon, or just check that out. So yeah, it really varies. I don't use butter anymore, so I don't have to use that for sins. Yeah, I don't use I don't use white bread or anything like that, so I don't sin up for that. So yeah, just sort of sweet treats and that. Going on to the next question then, what is your highest sin treat? So I would say the wine. I don't drink that often, maybe once a week, maybe once a fortnight I'll have a glass of wine, and I allocate my sins. Usually on a Saturday night where I haven't got work the next day and I have no runs planned or anything, and I'll have, if I've got enough sins, I tend to have a large glass. So like 250 ml of red wine, which is like 13%, is about, is it 11.5 sins? If it's the 14%, it's 12 sins. So that is a large glass. If I've already had something earlier on in the day, or I'm having some sins with my meal, like maybe like if I make like a JD Seasonings kebab, so I use a wrap, that will be 6 sins for the Weight Watchers wrap. If I haven't used as a healthy extra B, then I will use, say, 6.5 sins for a small glass of wine, and like that is obviously I think about 125 mils that will be. So yeah, that is probably my most extravagant of the sins, but as I said, it's not something I have every day. The other thing I really like, which is high sins, and it's 8.5 sins. It used to be less. I think it used to be 7 sins, and now Slim World had put it up. So always check the value of everything, and that is a Ripple, a Galaxy Ripple. You know, I think they're 33 grams, and yeah, they are like my little treat. I have one once a week, maybe once a fortnight. I haven't had one for ages, and then I had one last night because I had lots of sins left. So yeah, that was 8.5 sins, and yeah, I just have it with a cup of tea, and it's just yummy. But I do like chocolate. I like green and black's chocolate, but you can get the little bars, or I just break off squares, so they're not high sins. Do you use sins with free speed or just as with free food, speed food, or just as treats? So as I said, I would do oh, sorry, I just kicked the table. So I did the JD seasonings, like kebab. I use it with lamb. So sometimes I will sin things like if I want mayonnaise on my chips, but usually I just make a yogurt dressing, so that's free. But like, it might be the mince, if I use minced sauce, if it's one that needs to be sinned, then it's like, I think half, the amount that I use is like half a sin. So, or I might use my wrap, if I have already used my healthy extra B earlier on. Sometimes I sin, like if I make the creamy Cajun chicken, I'll sin the portion of the stronger cheddar spreadable light, which is 3 sins, I think, for a quarter of the tub. Or you can use that as half your healthy extra B, otherwise half the tub is, about half the tub is your healthy extra, healthy extra A. So sometimes if I've used my healthy extra A with my almond milk, I use the other half of my almond milk, the other half of my healthy extra A as sins. But if I've already used I'm getting confusing here. If I've already used my healthy extra A on something else, then I will use that spreadable thing, spreadable cheese as sinned. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I got interrupted by the postman. So, what was I talking about? So yeah, also, it varies really. I don't really use sins at first, unless I'm like doing a full fry up, and I'll have a sin for the HB sauce or ketchup. Don't send sin, nothing for lunch really. Again, unless I've used my healthy extra B, then I might sin some like Rovita. If I'm having soup or having like ham or something on it. So it really varies, but mainly I would say the majority of my sins go on treats. Yeah, that's it. It goes on treats really. I do like my little treats, and it's just like an evening thing. You know, I have my dinner an hour or so later. It's not something like a treat. I don't pick through the day so much on my sins. Not always. Depends really what I've eaten in the day. Do you always have sins? Yeah, do you always have sins? Yeah, I pretty much do. I don't think there's a day that I haven't gone without using most of my sins. I went through a stage of using some of my sins. So I would use like between 5 and 10. I tried a week, see if that affected my weight loss. It made no difference really. I didn't lose any more than I would normally. My weight loss is very slow, so I thought maybe it will speed it up just to try it. I watch other YouTubers and ones at a Target as well. I noticed that they don't use that many sins, and then it doesn't actually make any impact on their weight loss or anything. In fact, they actually sometimes put on. So I kind of got the thing that I need to eat my sins. I do a lot of exercise, so I do eat my sins. There was a lady at my group recently, there was one that's very close to Target who ate hardly any sins and is really struggling to get to her target. Another lady who's fairly new, and she hadn't really been using her sins. She was maybe having like 2 a day. She wanted to speed up her weight loss, and you know, she was just starting it, and her daughter was eating all her sins, and both similar sizes, she lost her weight quick. She's been losing weight quicker, and that's what they realised. So that week she went home, started incorporating things, just having a chocolate bar if she wanted it, or having a glass of wine or something, or if she couldn't use it in food. And yeah, she ended up losing like 3 pounds the following week, which was a much bigger weight loss than she had previously the few weeks before. So the other lady I was saying who's very close to Target, was going to try that this week. She was going to incorporate some more sins in there, and it might just be having a bread roll, or it might be having some crackers or something, just so that she's using them up. She does exercise, this lady, and she just, obviously her body needs some sins. So that's what they're there for. So I think if I deprive myself of those little treats, I would probably go off the rails and crave them more, like I have previously done in other diets. So yeah, I will definitely be using my sins. Where are we now? Do you use your sins daily or 105 weekly sins? I have always used my sins daily. I have only recently learned that some people do that. Probably like the last month or so ago, I realised there was someone else talking about it, and they always count down. This guy, I can't remember what his name is now, but he was saying that's what he does. He has 105 sins and he works down. That obviously Slimming World they say you should have the 15 sins and that's it. But if that is working for him, that's great. I just like to have my 15 sins a day and stay within that. I think because I've been doing that for so long, I've got used to that. I think if I have the 105 sins, I will probably, I don't know, I'm in a different mindset how I was, say, 6 months ago. So I don't know if I would actually then just gorge on 100 sins over like 2 days. I don't think I would anymore. Yeah, no, I don't think I would. I think I would just break it down. But yeah, I might give it a go one week and just see how that affects my weight loss, actually. I might give it a go sort of over the Easter period, and sort of see, yeah, how that goes. How do you feel about flexi-sins? So I have used flexi-sins, but I find it like it's very difficult when you go, like say you won't go around someone's house for dinner, or you go out for a meal and you really can't plan, or you just want to, do you know what, I don't go out very often, and I don't go out very often. I mean, I go around maybe someone's house, we go out for drinks and things like that, but it's very rare that it is something that happens, hardly at all really. So I tend to want to go out and enjoy myself. I make the right choices. I never choose like a creamy pasta sauce or anything, or a creamy curry. I haven't done for years. I just don't like creamy sauces. But if I want to drink, I will drink. So I probably go way over the flexi-sins, but then I'm back on track the rest of the time, if that makes sense. I might even incorporate a speed day in there. And I've noticed the last couple of times where I have gone out, like I went for the afternoon tea last Saturday, and then a few weeks before that my mum came over and we had a takeaway and we drank pretty much a whole bottle of Prosecco each. It didn't affect my weight loss. It may have slowed it down, but it didn't affect it. So it didn't make me put on like 3 pounds or anything. So I know that I can manage this now. And if I do, I mean, if I start going out every weekend, every Friday and Saturday night, then of course I'm going to have to rail it back in and be like, but I have 2 young children, and it's, you know, the times I do go out, I want to enjoy myself. I won't go all out and end up having burger and chips and things like that, because that doesn't appeal to me anyway. I'm just not keen on greasy food and stuff like that. So it is about me making the right choices. And I think that's taken me a long time to get there. Because I think before I would have just been like, blow out, have it all. So yeah, but I do think if you're one of those people that can go out and not drink, like if you're a sociable person, you go out all the time and you cannot drink. I mean, I can go out and not drink, by the way, but you want to use flexi-sins for another night and maybe put it towards drinks or put it towards a meal or a family celebration or something, then that is what flexi-sins are there for. They are used, Fopaholic does a really good video, and I'll try and link it up if I can, but if not, go and check her channel. That's Nikki from Fopaholic, so it's Fopperholic, yeah, Fopaholic. Yeah, go and check her channel out. She does a video about flexi-sins. It's quite a way back, so you might just scroll back, but she talks about it and what they're there for. And it is once in a blue moon. It's not something every week, because you're really going to slow your weight loss down. But they are there on those occasions where you're not going to, where you want to drink, you want to let your hair down, or you've got big family, like a wedding or something like that. Yeah, that's what they're there for. So it's just so that you can live, you know, you can have a life and still enjoy Slimming World and still lose weight as you go. If you are all out of your sins, which is your free food to go to? I would say quark now. I never really ate quark on its own. Now that I do add the skinny syrups, I've got the Jordan skinny syrups, they really help. That if I've used all my sins, and whereas I would put, like, I tried it with the Nutella cake, if you SW, if you're watching, and it's delicious. But if I haven't got enough sins for Nutella or options, then I will use a Jordan skinny syrup, and I will put some like frozen berries in it. Whether that be cherries, I love cherries. I love everything about cherries, cherry yogurts, everything. So maybe cherries or blueberries or raspberries, whatever I've got in the freezer really, and have quark with it. Or I might have a banana. If I haven't had one already in the day. And sometimes, like, it's very rare I do this, but if I haven't had like a big carby dinner but I really want something, or if I want to save my sins for later in the day but I really want something, I might just make some chips or some wedges and just bung them in the oven. They're free, you know. You have to do really what works for you, and that is, I think some people get scared of using free food, but that's what it's there for. So yeah, go make some chips, go make some wedges. I need to get the active fry because it's a lot quicker as well. And the last question, is there some sin food you don't sin, like smoothies, tweaks, the mug shots, etc.? So smoothies I don't tend to have anymore. I haven't really had them at all, just because you have to sin them. But then obviously there are smoothies you can make. You can just obviously make smoothies which are very green and maybe add, I don't know, like half a banana or something. If I did have one, I probably wouldn't sin it. But I think if it was something I was having all the time, I might sin it. I know recently the budget slimmers are doing like a little experiment and adding like the fruit juice, and they're adding it as a squash. So they're making it up with water, adding it as a squash into the green smoothie, and they're not sinning it. I don't think that's a tweak, because it's going to be a little bit controversial, because some people are saying to them it's a tweak because of the squash, but it's no different. You've made it up with you've diluted it already. You're just whizzing it around. You can even add it afterwards. I mean, and mix it up, but it's not a tweak. You've already used the squash in water. So I don't think that's a tweak, but they're going to see if it affects their weight loss for this week. That would be interesting to see. Also, tweaks. I have done a couple of tweaks. So I did the smash coated so you got a piece of fish, dip it in the egg, dip it in the smash, and I baked it in the oven, and it was delicious. I've had that once and I will make it again, but I never sinned it. Well, I don't know if you sin it a tweak, I don't know, but I had it as it was, and it's now classed as a tweak. People have said, even at my group, have said that it used to be able to do it and now you can't. So it just didn't affect my weight loss that week. So yeah, it's something I will have again. I think it's something, if I did every day, I wouldn't have it all the time. It's a bit like the chickpeas. You put seasoning on them, spices, whatever, put them in the oven so they're like nutty. Again, it's something I wouldn't do all the time. I haven't done this, but if I did and I really wanted some fancy munching on some nuts or something, I don't know, I would probably do that, and I would enjoy them, and I would only have like a small amount. I wouldn't have the whole tin or anything. But if you incorporate that into a meal, like a curry or something, then it's a bit different. It's fine. But it would be once in a blue moon. Mug shots, I used to have mug shots now and again. They were sort of my go-to on like a Monday and Wednesday afternoon when I had to work in the evening, something to fill me up until I work. I've cut them out because they now sinned, but they are only one sin, and I don't use all my sins every day. So, but do you know what? If I'd used all my sins and I was really hungry and all I had was a mug shot that I really fancied, and that's all I fancied, I couldn't bother to make any pasta, I wouldn't sin it. But that's just me. If you're new, you're meant to sin it. But if it really affected my weight loss that week, then obviously I wouldn't. But it's not something I have all the time. It is once in a blue moon, and I have already stopped buying them. One, because they're never on offer, and when they are, I might buy a couple because they're handy for work. But yeah, I don't tend to. In the pasta and sauces, I sort of, the ones, what did I have the other day? I did actually have one, chicken and mushroom one. I think it was only half a sin, so I did actually sin it. But again, if I'd used all my sins, or I planned to use all my sins, I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't sin it if I was really hungry and that's what I wanted and that's all I had. So yeah, I hope that's helped some people. Yeah, let us know any comments, or if you have your own video and you want to write the questions. Rachel did put the questions in hers, or you can obviously watch this video and or do your own questions. But yeah, if you go to Rachel's video, I will put it in the link in the drop down box below. But yeah, she's got all the questions there if anyone else wants to participate. I'm not going to tag anyone because, like her, it's just open to everyone. Go and join in. But yeah, I hope that's helped answer a few questions. That's what I do, but you have to find what works for you. So that's it. Yeah, have a great day, and I shall speak to you soon. Bye.